So you had a breakup, you had an argument, maybe you got fired from a job, or you had a disagreement with a partner. Maybe you're just not feeling well today. Maybe it's to do with your past and the things that happened to you, trauma. And something has triggered you today. And you're just thinking about the thoughts over and over and over and over again, what to do, what to do, what to do. The problem is that the more you do that, the more you're reinforcing the neural pathways that remind you more about that past event, because it is only a past event. It doesn't exist in the moment of now. Thoughts are of the future or the past, never of the present moment. And so when you are ruminating, meaning that you're constantly thinking about the same thing over and over again, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with those negative thoughts. So you can either accept what has happened or solve it, because the brain is ultimately a problem-solving machine. And so it wants to solve the problem, and accepting it is solving it. And they call it the ironic rebound effect. And you can go look online for Daniel Klegman, the white polar bear experiment they did when you suppress a thought, meaning that you can't solve it and you can't accept it, then it comes back stronger and harder. And this is what the brain does ongoingly. So the question is, how do you break the cycle? How do you change it? Well, you have to redirect your thoughts. And that means staying firstly present in the moment. And to do that, you can quickly access any of your 5 senses. You can take a big breath in, you can listen to something, you can see something. And the reason why is because we then access what we call the direct experience network, and it switches off the rumination, which is happening in what we call the default mode network. So the default mode network is the brain in energy saving mode, which it will try and put you into the subconscious in order to preserve energy. And it's the brain jumping from different neural pathways in the mind, like jumping from different electrical circuits in order to maintain them and reinforce them. And this is like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, playing around, and that's why they call it the monkey mind, funny enough. So in order to switch it off, because you can either access the direct experience network or the default mode network. You can't serve 2 masters or operate at both at the same time. And so that's the quickest way to switch off your unwanted thinking, your rumination of thoughts. But you need to switch them off, because the more you ruminate, the more you think about them, the more you reinforce that thought, that feeling, etc. And so staying in the present is really about being here now. And when you learn that the here and the now, there are no thoughts. And when you start recognizing that thoughts are only from the future or the past, the game then becomes about learning to stay here and now in the present moment. And that's one of the reasons why we practice meditation, for example, so that we can learn to differentiate between the daydream and what is real in the here and now. So my takeaway from this is simply practice steering your mind every single morning within the first 20 minutes that you get up. Learn to bring your awareness back to the present moment by anchoring yourself into the present. And how do you do that? It's simple. Meditation is about anchoring. So you're choosing a place on your forehead, you're breathing, you can look at a candle, you can look at an object and you just stare at it, or observe something like your breath and you're just aware of it. And think about like a map. If you're going on a journey, if you get lost, you can always come back to the starting point or onto the path, because you have a map. And when you are in meditation, if you don't have an anchor point and your mind drifts off and you go, oh, I'm drifting off, you will then be fighting against yourself the whole time to try and find out, but where am I going back to? And so if you have an anchor point, being a place on your body, your breath, your nostrils, just above your forehead or something like that, a little spot I usually use just here, you always have a place to go to when you catch yourself wandering. And the more you catch yourself wandering and bring yourself back to your anchor point, the stronger your ability is to catch yourself daydreaming, and the stronger your ability to re-anchor yourself into the present as well. I hope that helps. Namaste.